Prohibitory measures introduced by the Valley District Administrations to curb the alarming resurgence of coronavirus came into effect yesterday. However, despite the urge of the authorities, public continue to defy the measures. Of the 9,000 PCR tests held, almost 2,500 individuals returned positive result for coronavirus. There is a call on the general public to follow all the health and safety guidelines. Good morning, I'm Sarah Sapsanama and these are the headlines of the hour. Strict prohibitory orders imposed by Valley authorities in the face of a dramatic surge in the corona graph ignored by the public. 2,448 new cases reported yesterday. World Bank projects Nepal's economic growth rate at 3.9% for the ongoing fiscal year, slashes global growth forecast and warns of growing inequality. India records over 200,000 daily infections, 379 succumbed to the virus in the past 24 hours. And Real Madrid upsets Barca by 3-2 score in the semi-final of the Spanish Super Cup. Last season's La Liga champions Atletico Madrid take on Athletic Bilbao tonight. Kathmandu District Administration has prohibited the gathering of more than 25 people in the valley to curb the alarming spread of coronavirus cases. However, this restriction has been ignored by the public, especially at hospitals, government offices and public transport.
All three district administration offices of the valley have prohibited gathering of more than 25 people with the objective of curbing the steep rise in coronavirus infections. Likewise, individuals are required to present their vaccination card at public places. However, these prohibitory measures have been flayed by the government departments and the public. The hospitals and vaccination centers have seen an increased flow of late, with more people seeking the jabs amid the rising cases. In an 18-point notice, the administration had urged everyone to strictly follow all the health and safety guidelines, including the mandatory use of masks and maintaining physical distance. But these rules have been completely ignored in public transport with overcrowded vehicles, while many are not even seen putting on a mask. With the public ignoring the health and safety measures and the administration yet to strictly monitor the situation, the surge in cases is likely to continue further. It is imperative for the public and the government to realize the potential damages of the third wave and act in a responsible manner.
An alarming resurgence of coronavirus is being reported across the country, with 2,448 new cases confirmed yesterday through PCR tests. The death toll, meanwhile, has climbed to 11,609, with 2 fatalities confirmed yesterday. 627 other cases were identified through antigen tests. Kathmandu reported the highest 1,168 new cases, followed by Lalitpur with 236. 154 cases were confirmed in Morang, and Bhaktapur reported 134 new cases. Meanwhile, 278 individuals were discharged as the recovery rate now stands at 97.2%. A total of 87 patients are undergoing treatment at ICU and 22 critical patients are on ventilator support. The failure in adopting preventive health measures by the public amid the rising threat of coronavirus has further increased the risk of virus transmission. The movement of people disregarding the persisting threat has been witnessed in the bordering regions. The movement of public in Trinagar-Gauri-Fata border in Kailali on a daily basis is reckless, despite India being at a high risk of different variants of coronavirus. The government has implemented measures to curb the spread of the virus. However, the public have failed to abide by them. The Election Commission has called an all-party meeting to discuss on the upcoming election of the National Assembly. The Apex Election Authority has summoned an all-party meeting on Friday to discuss on the National Assembly election slated for the 26th of January and the upcoming local level elections as well. The Commission is also to hold talks with the parties about the procedure for National Assembly election amid the risk of coronavirus. Likewise, the Commission will also seek suggestions from the parties in regard to the local level elections. The entity will also inform the parties on the latest updates about the voters' list. Parties represented at the Federal Parliament, provincial and local levels have been invited for the all-party meeting. It has been 6 years since the promulgation of the Constitution. A total of 13 commissions have been formed to ensure the rights of the public, inclusivity and good governance. However, laws for these constitutional bodies have yet to be formed. The role of the commissions is being limited in the absence of required laws. The National Human Rights Bill was registered at the Parliament on the 23rd of April 2019 after months of dilly-dallying at the Council of Ministers. The Commission is a special entity which cannot be issued directives by the Parliamentary Committee. Then government led by KP Sharma Oli had obstructed the registration of the bill to restrict the role of the Commission. The Commission has not been able to institute its provincial structures in the absence of laws and has been limited to making public the list of violators of human rights. Likewise, the bills related to the Commission for the Investigation of Abuse of Authority and the Public Service Commission, among other entities, have also remained stranded. These entities have long been abused by ruling parties to appoint individuals close to them and have therefore failed to perform in an efficient manner. Now, despite the government ambition of achieving a 7% economic growth rate in the ongoing fiscal year, the World Bank has projected the rate to be limited to 3.9%. Publishing the Global Economic Prospects 2022 on Tuesday, the World Bank has projected a dismal economic growth rate for Nepal. Based on the projections of the World Bank, the economic growth rate of Nepal is likely to marginally improve in the year 2023 to 4.7%. Meanwhile, the institution has projected the global economic growth rate to stand at 4.1% in 2022 and drop to 3.2% the year later. The report also paints a bleak picture of increasing inflation, loans and inequality in the coming years. The report notes that all such impacts are likely to affect economic revitalization of the world. Likewise, the document adds that the new variants of COVID-19 and the alarming surge in cases are likely to slow the pace of economic activities, along with reduction of revenue and demand. In a quite sharp contrast, the report notes that the economic growth rate of India and Bangladesh are to remain high in the year 2022 and 23. The economic growth rate of India is likely to figure 8.3% in 2022 and rise to 8.7% in 2023. Meanwhile, the economic growth rate of the Maldives is likely to drop from a mammoth 22% in 2021 to 11% in 2022. Moving on, commercial banks have agreed not to increase the interest rate on deposits in the Nepali month of Magh. However, the interest rate on loans is likely to increase by up to 1.5%. Following the increase in interest rate on deposits in the Nepali months of Asoj, Kartik and Mangshir, the interest rate on loans is likely to increase between 1 to 1.5%. Yesterday's meeting of the Nepal Bankers Association has concluded that the interest rate should not be increased at the moment. Saying the increase in interest rate on savings would result in the rise in interest rate on loans, ultimately making domestic production more expensive, the banks agreed not to increase the interest rate on savings. Commercial banks have the option of increasing the interest rate by up to 10% of the interest rate during the Nepali month of Posh. However, the representatives of the association have said that the increasing coronavirus cases is likely to create a negative impact on economic activities and the interest rates. Banks have not increased the interest rate since the 10% growth in the month of Mangshir. Meanwhile, the chief executive officers of the development banks have held unofficial talks and seem to be in favor of not increasing the rates, considering the alarming resurgence of COVID cases and its impact on the economy. Based on the directive of Nepal Rashtra Bank, the banking and financial institutions are required to publish their interest rates for deposits and loans for the upcoming month at the end of the ongoing month. In our Public Voice segment, we've asked in several provinces what should be done to avoid contracting coronavirus. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
Public Voice.
अलिकति लक्षण देखिन बित्तिकै तुरुन्तै अस्पताल गइहाल्नु पर्छ
भिडभाडमा जानु भएन
खोप लगाइसक्यौं भनेर हामीले जथाभावी गर्नु भएन
गाउँ स्तरमा जनचेतना जगाउनु पर्छ
दूरी बनाएर पनि राख्नु पर्छ
सरकारले दिएको स्वास्थ्य मापदण्डको पालना गर्ने नागरिकले आफै संवेदनशीलता अपनाउनु पर्छ
घरबाट बाहिर निस्किन भएन
सरकारले दिएको नियम पालना गर्नु पर्यो
बेला बेलामा साबुन पानीले हात धुने
अत्यावश्यक काम भन्दा धेरै भिडभाड नगर्ने
सेनिटाइजर प्रयोग गर्ने
कोरोना खोप नभएको मान्छे होटल व्यवसायमा नपसुन्
Time now for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
The question is, why is the government yet to increase tests despite the alarming resurgence of coronavirus cases? Your options are A, limited resources, B, daunting task, and C, feeble preparation. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. Time now for the sports update.
Sports news.
Young Nepali shuttler Prince Dahal has climbed to the world #1 in Badminton World Federation BWF junior rankings. Prior to this, Prince was ranked 3rd. Based on the latest ranking made public by the BWF, Prince has climbed 2 spots to reach the apex rank with 1400 rating points.
म चाहिँ एकदमै खुसी लागिरहेछ किनभनेपछि अब मेरो गरेको मेहनत र अझै मलाई मोटिभेट गर्ने अझै आफुलाई पुश गर्ने अझै चान्स मिलेको छ नि त.
Prince had recently competed at the International Challenge held in Bangalore, India, where his doubles team with Praful Maharjan had progressed to the round of 32. The top ranking for Prince comes as the biggest achievement for any Nepali shuttler. That's all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.